Next Goal Wins is the latest offering from Taika Waititi, and it showcases the director's signature blend of humor and heart, bringing to life the true story of Thomas Rongen's attempt to turn the American Samoa soccer team from the worst to at least scoring one goal. And I think this is a very fun movie. It did get some criticism. People didn't really seem to like this movie, but while it may not have a ton of depth and, consistency that audiences anticipated, I did find it fun to watch. I can understand if you are not a fan of Thor: Love and Thunder, you might not like this. And a lot of criticism went towards Thor: Love and Thunder, so everyone was kind of looking to see what Taika Waititi's next film would be. I don't think it's that surprising that he's continuing this kind of comedic style. It's silly, it has heart, but at the end of the day, it's not a great movie. Still, I enjoyed it, and that's, the bottom line for, I enjoyed it. But I wanted to let you guys know, we'll go into the movie, talk about it, and break it down. I think Waititi's knack for infusing humor into diverse settings has been a cornerstone of his filmmaking career, from his mockumentary style of What We Do in the Shadows to the crowd-pleasing Hunt for the Wilderpeople. He reinvented Thor and made a World War II comedy film that even won an Oscar, which would seem pretty hard to do. But then, he made another Thor film, and people thought there was too much humor in that. I mean, I kind of agree. I think the first Thor Ragnarok, it was a perfect pop rock space spectacle. And Thor was always the boring Avenger. You wanted to see what else he could do. And I think, Thor Ragnarok had that perfect kind of action synergy. It was funny. It was exciting to watch. It was just a great space movie. But then, Thor: Love and Thunder, just too silly. And people really thought, well, is this all he can do? I think Next Goal Wins really does go, yeah, his style is very fun and kind of loose. But I thought this, had a challenge to make this film, right? It's balancing comedy with the emotional weight of a true underdog story. The film introduces Michael Fassbender in his return to the big screen after a 3-year hiatus, and he takes on the role of Thomas Rongen, a down-on-his-luck coach who's tasked with this impossible mission. I think it's actually a good concept, trying to get the worst soccer team in the world, not to victory, but just their first goal. Just one goal is all they need. That's what they keep saying in the movie. And it's a good idea. And Fassbender's performance is commendable. He's very fun to watch. I also like that we had The Killer, and now we get to see him in this. So he went from making movies like The Snowman to Dark Phoenix, which were terrible movies, and he clearly took a break from movies after that. But now he's back, and I just love that we have two completely different movies from him. One where he's a soccer coach, and one where he's a hitman. But I guess, one of the film's notable drawbacks lies in its lack of character development. The audience is given little time to delve into the background of the characters, and key information about the protagonist is saved until the end for a stronger emotional impact during the motivational speech. And I think this approach does fit the underdog narrative. It might leave a viewer, yearning for a deeper connection to the characters, but I honestly didn't think this was that bad. I think you might either like this approach or you might not like the approach. And Waititi knows there are a lot of characters in this film, so he kind of treats them all collectively as a group. The entire American Samoa soccer team, it just feels like they don't feel like they're individual characters. They just feel like one group that, don't even get that many lines, each individual character. Might have been a little better if it had smaller moments. There are a few great moments here and there, such as when Rongen gets pulled over and he recruits the police officer to be his kicker after he watches him kick a can. It doesn't really reinvent the wheel, but it contains the typical overcoming the coach versus player differences. When they try to come together and try to win at the end, and then they overcome that. And the beats click, and Waititi knows how to keep it moving. There's a lot of sports montages, many jokes. It isn't a perfect movie or an original one, but it is enjoyable. And if you really aren't, that stiff with cliche sports movies, it does a commendable job applying this true story to the formula of an underdog story. And I think all the actors work really well together. The narrative flow is swift. It clocks in a lean 95 minutes. And I think that, there's also some good character stuff with Jaya, who is the first trans soccer player. She gets a lot of focus in the film. I think where other soccer players kind of take a back seat, it's Jaya who gets a lot. And just seeing her kind of rivaling with Coach Rongen, like, that has the typical sports cliche stuff where they don't get along at first, but then they learn to, work together and win. And I think that's all you really need. I don't think you need so many character moments. I think what Waititi brings to the table is enough. I think it is a light movie. I enjoyed it, honestly, more than the new Hunger Games movie. Like I said, this isn't really something that is groundbreaking or will win you over, but it was sweet. It had a lot of heart, and I think, it's funny, too. I think it's a good movie to watch if this is just the movie you want to see. Waititi's always been saying he just wants to make a movie that is hopeful, it's fun, it's about love, and he did a good job. He succeeds in that. So, yeah, it's not a great movie, but it is an enjoyable movie for this type of film. So I enjoyed Next Goal Wins. Let me know what you guys think if you enjoyed it too. Thanks for watching.